The ground shakes long before anyone notices it. In a place where the land hides its truth under dust, steel, and old promises, something is waking up again, something powerful enough to change everything. The sun rises over the wide, empty land, but nothing feels calm today. The air is thick, almost heavy, as if it knows what people don't want to admit. Everyone in the basin is moving fast, trying to stay ahead of the trouble they can sense but cannot name. Rumors travel quicker than trucks on a highway, and each whisper carries the same warning: something big is coming. No one knows exactly what it is, but they know it won't be gentle. Deep in the middle of this restless land, decisions are being made that will echo far beyond the oil fields. People who once trusted each other now trade sharp looks instead of handshakes. Old friendships feel shaky. Long-buried conflicts begin to rise again, pushed to the surface by greed, fear, and the pressure to survive in a place where survival is never promised. Workers speak quietly among themselves, reminding each other that when the basin stirs, nothing stays steady for long. Tension spreads across the region like heat on metal. A single wrong move, a single wrong word, could set off a chain reaction no one can control. Some try to keep order, pretending everything is normal, but their efforts only highlight how close things are to breaking. The land they stand on is rich, but it demands payment from everyone who touches it. And in this moment, the cost is rising. Behind closed doors, powerful people scramble to protect their interests. They sign papers with hands that look steady but feel anything but. They make plans layered with secrets because the truth is too dangerous to speak out loud. Every choice they make pulls someone else into the storm forming overhead. Every promise becomes a gamble. The deeper they dig, the more they realize the real threat isn't in the ground, it's in each other. As pressure builds, even the most confident voices begin to crack. It becomes clear that episode 5 is not just another step in this story, it's a turning point. Lines that were once clear now blur into confusion. Loyalties twist. Doubts grow. And with every passing moment, it feels like the land itself is holding its breath, waiting for the moment everything finally explodes. The basin has never been a gentle place, but now it feels like a test, one that not everyone will pass. Because here, strength isn't about muscles or machines. It's about who can stand tall when the ground starts to crumble beneath them. And in this chapter, the ground is already moving. The tension that once lived quietly beneath the surface now spills into every corner of the basin. People can feel it in their bones before they see it in their days. Every conversation holds a pause, a hesitation, as if everyone is choosing their words with the fear that the wrong one could set off a spark. The atmosphere is thick with expectation something is about to break. And everyone knows it, even if they don't say it out loud. The roads, usually filled with the steady rhythm of trucks and workers, now carry a different kind of energy. Drivers grip their steering wheels tighter. Radio chatter sounds sharper, cut with small warnings and quiet doubts. Even the simple act of clocking in feels different. The field workers exchange glances that say more than words ever could, glances that ask if the rumors are true, if the danger is real, if today might be the day everything changes. Because in a place built on risk, it's never the accident you see coming that destroys you. It's the one that grows quietly, unnoticed, until it's too big to stop. Behind the scenes, the powerful players begin to feel the weight of their own choices. Decisions they once made easily now come back with consequences much heavier than they expected. Secrets begin to leak through the cracks, small details at first, tiny slips, unnoticed mistakes, but those details spread fast. A deal meant to be hidden becomes the talk of a late-night meeting. A lie whispered once becomes a shadow following someone everywhere they go. And as these truths crawl into the light, they twist alliances in ways that can't be undone. People who once stood strong together now question every promise they ever believed. Was loyalty ever real? Or was it just another tool used to control the game? These questions linger in the minds of those who once trusted blindly. The more they think about it, the clearer it becomes. There is no room for innocence in the basin. Every choice has a price. And every person is capable of paying it when the pressure rises high enough. Meanwhile, the land watches silently. The wind moves through the fields like a warning. Machines groan from exhaustion. The ground vibrates with restless force, reminding everyone that it is alive, unpredictable, and far more powerful than any human plan. Nature has its own way of showing displeasure, and this time, its message feels unmistakable. The balance here is fragile, and greed is pushing it past its limit. In the heart of this chaos, one mistake sends a ripple across the field. It begins small: a late report, a missed signal, a tiny oversight, but the effect spreads fast, touching everything in its path. Suddenly, the people who thought they were in control find themselves scrambling to catch up. They rush between offices and field sites, chasing solutions that seem to slip further away. Panic is still hidden beneath their voices, but it grows louder with every passing hour. As episode 5 moves deeper, it becomes clear that this isn't just another rise in tension. This is the moment the story shifts, where pressure turns into action, where truths no longer stay buried, and where danger stops being a warning and becomes a reality. And as the sun begins to set over the basin, painting the sky in harsh colors, one thing becomes certain: nothing about this land, or the people fighting for it, will stay the same after this. Night settles over the basin, but darkness does not bring peace. Instead, it reveals what daylight hides. The silence feels heavier, almost suffocating, as if the land itself is holding secrets too dangerous to speak. Lights from distant rigs flicker like warning signals across the vast open space. Every shadow stretches longer than it should. Every sound echoes deeper. And in this tense stillness, the truth begins to push its way forward. People who once moved with confidence now act with caution. Doors close quietly. Phone screens light up more often. Conversations happen in corners, away from curious ears. The moment someone thinks they understand what's happening, a new piece of information appears and shakes everything again. The story shifts with every hour, and no one can keep up. Not anymore. The ground beneath them is changing faster than they can adjust, tilting the balance of power in ways no one expected. The strongest grip starts to slip. Leaders who once commanded attention now fight to maintain control, questioning who they can trust and who is quietly plotting against them. Old alliances that once felt unbreakable start to tear apart thread by thread. Some break quietly through silence and distance, while others snap loudly, exploding into confrontations that leave a ripple of fear behind them. Everyone senses they are standing on the edge of something bigger than their personal battles, yet they still cling to their own interests, hoping they can protect what little they have left. Meanwhile, those caught in the middle feel the pressure pressing down from all sides. They are pulled between loyalty and survival, forced to choose paths they never wanted to walk. They hear rumors of new deals, secret moves, hidden dangers, each one worse than the last. When the truth is unclear, fear becomes the loudest voice. And fear spreads quickly, slipping into every conversation, every decision, every lonely thought that creeps in during the long, sleepless night. Even nature reacts to the tension. The wind blows harder, carrying dust across empty roads. Metal creaks, wires hum, and the rigs groan like they are warning of the chaos coming. The land has seen battles before, but this feels different. This time, the danger isn't just underground or hidden in machinery. It's in the people. Their choices, their secrets, their ambition. These are the sparks waiting to ignite something bigger than any of them can contain. As the night deepens, a single event shatters what little calm remains. It is unexpected, sudden, and powerful enough to break through the quiet like a thunderclap. It forces everyone to stop pretending everything is under control. No more hiding, no more delaying. The truth is here, and it demands to be faced. Those who thought they were safe now realize how exposed they truly are. Those who believed they held power feel it slipping through their fingers like dust. Episode 5 reaches a point where the story can no longer hold its breath. Everything that has been building, the lies, the pressure, the shifting alliances, finally pushes past the breaking point. The night ends not with calm, but with the promise of a storm. And once that storm hits, nothing in the basin, and no one living inside its reach will be able to go back to the way things were before. Morning arrives, but the daylight does not feel warm or hopeful. It falls over the basin like a harsh spotlight, exposing everything the night tried to hide. Nothing looks the same anymore. The land feels unfamiliar, almost hostile, as if it has absorbed the tension of the last few days and is now reflecting it back at everyone who steps on it. The air is sharp, the silence uneasy, and the people feel the weight of something irreversible hanging over their heads. The news of the night's event spreads faster than wildfire. No one needs confirmation. They can see the truth in each other's eyes. Workers gather in small groups, speaking in low voices, trying to put the pieces together. No matter how they analyze it, the conclusion is the same. This is the turning point they feared. The moment they knew would come, but hoped would hold off just a little longer. Everything they built, every deal, every fragile piece has been cracked open, and the damage cannot be undone. What follows is a wave of reactions, each one louder than the last. Some people panic, scrambling to protect themselves from what might come next. Others move with cold, calculated steps, ready to take advantage of the chaos. And then there are those who freeze, torn between doing what is right and doing what is necessary to survive. Choices that were simple yesterday now feel impossible. Trust is no longer a resource anyone can afford. Every person becomes their own island, and the divide grows wider by the hour. Inside boardrooms and offices, voices rise in frustration. Accusations fly from every direction. People who once sat calmly across the table now glare at each other with suspicion. The weight of long-hidden truth finally crushed the fragile image of stability they tried so hard to maintain. Papers are slammed onto desks. Phones ring non-stop. Every decision feels rushed, desperate, fueled by the fear of losing control. Those who still believe they can fix this cling to hope, but the cracks are spreading too fast. But outside, beyond the walls of power, something deeper is happening. The land itself feels restless. Machines break down without clear reason. Pressure in the wells shifts unpredictably. Alarms sound more often. Even seasoned workers, people who know every sound, every vibration, begin to feel uneasy. It's as if the ground beneath them is reacting to the choices made above it, rejecting the chaos being forced upon it. The basin has its own voice, and now it is speaking loudly. As the day stretches on, a realization settles over everyone. The conflict is no longer just about resources or money or control. It has become personal. It has become emotional. It has become dangerous. People start seeing enemies in familiar faces, threats in simple actions, warnings in every quiet moment. Paranoia spreads like a shadow, covering even the strongest minds. No one knows who will make the next move, who will betray, who will break under the pressure. And that uncertainty becomes the most frightening part of all. By the time the sun begins to lower, the basin feels like a battlefield waiting for the first strike. The final calm before the kind of storm that changes everything forever. The events that once felt distant now stand just beyond reach, ready to pull everyone into the conflict, whether they want to be part of it or not. Choices made today will shape the future in ways no one can predict. For the first time, even the most confident leaders realize they are not steering this story anymore. The story is steering them. Episode 5 reaches its final breath with a sense of rising danger. A quiet promise that the next moment will be bigger, louder, and more explosive than anything before. And as darkness begins to reclaim the land, one truth becomes undeniable. The basin is done waiting. The real fight is about to begin.